Nottingham Trent University, working with you. Proud sponsors of Working Week.
On Working Week this week, we're taking a look back at some of our favourite stories from the run so far.
Yeah, and one of those has been Nottingham's biggest jobs fair.
Really popular, a lot more popular than we thought. We started to run out of supplies actually.
And one of my own personal favourites from the series so far, that's the shop in Kimberley that makes hand-baked treats for dogs.
Oh yeah, because one of those was a cherry barkwell.
Yeah, it's very good.
It's similar to a choux pastry, like a chocolate eclair, but it's made specifically for dogs.
And who could forget the regeneration of that beautiful village, Tuxford?
Yeah, a place I know well. I was brought up near there actually, and it's all been revived by an artist who moved into the village.
I think we've just been lucky. We've been lucky to buy this, and because we've made it look nice, it is the main part of the village, and it's cheered everybody up.
Hello, I'm Rob Pitton.
And I'm Des Coleman, and we're enjoying a nice morning's coffee on Broad Street in Nottingham. And if you're wondering who this third coffee cup is for, it's for our cameraman.
Dave the cameraman. We treat our camera crews very well, don't we, Des? Don't we, Dave?
He's got to say that, hasn't he?
Say that, yeah. The other people we treat well, we like to think, is you, the viewer. And we like to bring you advice on where the jobs are in Nottingham, and maybe if you want to improve your career, how you go about doing that.
And we sent Helen McCulloch down to Nottingham's biggest jobs fair to find out.
An audience of around 5,000 people are piling into the Capital FM arena. The Panthers aren't playing and no bands are warming up. People are here to find a job.
It's going all right. Hopefully I'll find something soon that I enjoy.
With more exhibitors than ever before, over 75 companies are here and recruiting. And those looking for work have plenty to choose from. Street League aims to turn around troubled youngsters and train them as football coaches.
It's took me from being completely jobless to doing something what I absolutely love.
With new pubs and restaurants opening in Nottinghamshire, catering jobs are also available.
We don't ask for any experience for our customer service assistant positions. We just think it's more about the personality at George's.
Caring for others can be a good way to make a living.
We're a healthcare agency based in Mansfield, so when nursing homes, hospitals are short-staffed, we send in agency workers.
High street stores are also looking for workers.
We're recruiting at the moment for personal shoppers and delivery drivers. We've got a range of hours that suit most people. We're quite flexible and we're just looking for happy people that want to come and work for us, really.
This jobs fair also features an international zone for those looking to work abroad, such as cruising the Seven Seas.
Seabourn is an American cruise company, but the front of house staff on board within the hospitality department are British and European. So we recruit for restaurant, for bar, for housekeeping, and also for chefs for the galley, for the kitchen on board.
Construction workers are in high demand, with this company hiring people to rebuild a town devastated by an earthquake on the other side of the world.
Today we're trying to find all ranges of construction workers to assist over in New Zealand in all aspects or in all areas of New Zealand, but we are trying to help with the rebuild of Christchurch City, which obviously was heavily devastated from an earthquake in 2011.
Nottingham City Council hopes events like this will go some way to bringing down unemployment.
Helen McCulloch reporting there with some very useful advice if you're a job hunter.
Yeah, and we've got some great advice for dog lovers. Get yourself down to Kimberley.
Yeah, there's a shop there that makes hand-baked cherry barkwells, crafted treats for your dogs, extremely healthy too. It's quite an unusual idea. It's a new site on the high street, not just in Kimberley, but across the country. The Doggy Deli was one of the first businesses in the UK to offer healthy, handmade food for poochers. After 3 years selling online, the business opened its first high street shop in January. Well, meet the luckiest dog in Nottingham. This is Bryn, and he's a wolfhound, as you can see. He's actually almost half the size of me and Alan. Alan's his owner. Alan also runs the shop. And Alan, it wasn't actually Bryn that inspired the business, was it, though? Tell me how it started.
No, it was my sister-in-law's dog. He had a heart condition, and the vet recommended no added salts or sugars to any of his food or treats. And while my sister-in-law was quite happy to make him these plain foods, there was nothing that he could actually have as a treat style. So my wife, who's an excellent baker, said, well, I'm sure I can come up with some recipes. So did a bit of research, looked into what they can and can't have, and it all blossomed from there.
Everything's made to appeal to owners as well as the dogs, but despite the appearances, there are no sugary treats to be had here. Well, Paula is the main baker, or Barker, I think you call yourself, inevitably.
Certainly, yeah.
Paula. So what are you doing at the moment?
I'm making our cheesy grins, which are one of our smaller dog biscuits.
So these are bone-shaped, but what's actually in them then?
Flour from Green's Windmill in Snanton. This cheese, parsley, mint, to keep dogs' breath fresh, and eggs, which we also source from Watnall, which is about 2 miles from us.
What else do you use? What other ingredients?
We also use free-range chicken when we can get it, to make a chicken base. I don't want to go too much into the what else we use in them, because there's some secret ingredients.
Secret ingredients. And how have you come up with these recipes? How have you researched it? What's it all based on?
It's based on original biscuit recipe I made for my sister's dog, which was a chicken biscuit.
Alan and Paula have built up a steady stream of customers. Today's visitor, the Reverend Barbara Hopwell, was the first person ever to shop here.
Well, sit then. Oh, good boy. What about one of those? Oh, peanut butter one.
The ingredients are good. We're giving him treats that aren't going to mess him up.
Well, they're new. One of those is new, isn't it?
And also, it's a local business, so we would need to support them. And it's just something a bit different, isn't it?
Thank you very much. What we've got. Come on then.
And how does the dog feel about it?
Oh, he loves it. He loves going in there. He can't wait to get in. As far as he's concerned, if you walk down here, you have to turn left and into the doggy deli. He's very disappointed when it's closed.
And what's his favourite?
His favourite, he likes the cheesy ones. He has the little munchy biscuits before he goes to bed every night, and he sits and waits for me to get that out before he goes on his bed.
But he's pining to get in there now, isn't he?
Yes, he is. He wants to be in there and see what's happening.
Wait. That's a good boy.
But even making food for dogs attracts red tape these days. The shop is regularly inspected for hygiene, and all of its products have to be approved by the Department for Farming and Rural Affairs. It's a serious business, cooking for dogs.
Even though it's human ingredients, it's make sure there's nothing that can actually damage a dog. So onions are toxic to dogs. Macadamia nuts, they're toxic as well.
And there's no sugar in it or anything?
No, no sugar, no colourants. I use natural, like strawberries or beetroot for colouring. So there's nothing artificial at all.
As well as the shop, the couple sell their food over the internet and travel to dog shows and events around the region, slowly building up a completely new market.
Okay, I'm going to take it nicely. Good boy. Is that nice?
Well, let's take a look at another of our favourite stories. And, you know, Des, I haven't always been the cool urban dweller that you now know. Yeah, I know. It's
I won't say anything.
Believe, isn't it? Yeah. But I was brought up in the pit village of Ollerton in North Nottinghamshire. And Ollerton's an interesting sort of place. But if we wanted to go to a pretty village, well, Tuxford wasn't very far away.
Yeah, but Tuxford's declined over recent years. But there has been a concerted effort to put it back on the map. Take a look at this.
I'm at Textford village in North Nottinghamshire, and it didn't always look like this. In fact, as recently as 5 years ago, it was a run-down ghost town, and it's taken the whole community to regenerate it and build it back up again. And one lady in particular was at the heart of that regeneration.
This is this building as it would have been when it was a coach stop. He's very good with his horses and great with his light effects.
Sally Mitchell is a one-woman regeneration programme, an art dealer and a fine art publisher. She'd long had her eye on the former Newcastle Arms coach house in the middle of Tuxford, and when it became available, she moved in to buy it.
I've always loved the building, and we had a couple of little galleries in the village anyway. It's quite near home, and we always thought this would make a great gallery. And so when the opportunity came, I mean, we only knew 2 days before it came up in auction that it was on the market. It was a real panic sale, and I mean, we bought it for a pittance. Had to spend a lot of money on it since, but... We've let part of it for the coffee shop and part of it for the beauty parlour, and we've built a museum of the horse upstairs. Come and see the painting room. This is where all the originals are shown.
Oh, I love that. Are they goats or sheep?
I don't know. They're lop-eared, whatever. Our business has several sides to it, really. We deal in original paintings, I have done for years. We also publish limited edition prints and greeting cards, and we have a gift range. We have 5 or 6 artists who work entirely for us as far as publishing goes. This is a charitable thing, my museum. I've been a collector all my life, and they're rare things, they're difficult things to find, and people love to look at them. It gives me so much pleasure to see people fascinated by them. And I was very lucky that the building was so big, we could afford to do this up here.
So that's it for this half of the show, but when you come back, we'll be looking at an old DIY shop that is now an antiques emporium.
An amazing place, isn't it? We had a coffee there, funnily enough. There's a bit of a theme here.
We had to pay for this one, though, didn't we?
We've got such a lot going on here with running the tea bar and the cafe and everything, so almost the problem is we're too busy sometimes, which I think, you know, it's definitely not a complaint, it's just, you know.
And I'm delighted to say so far, Des, in the series, we've seen a lot of Nottingham firms that are doing extremely well, and we've been taking a look at another one, a traditional textile manufacturer that's creating new jobs.
We've grown from about 20 to about 25 now, and hopefully we'll get to about 30 in the coming months.
And we're also back to Tuxford. A wonderful village, Tuxford. Say it, sounds good.
Really sound, it's very English, Tuxford.
Yeah, Tuxford. To find out how the revival's going on.
This was it boarded up. It had to be boarded up because all the windows were smashed. This was the side of the building, that's where the coffee shop is now.
We came round here and it's been
amazing ever since, yeah.
Nottingham Trent University, proud sponsors of Working Week. Nottingham Trent University, proud sponsors of Working Week.
Welcome back, and I haven't touched my coffee, by the way. I've been too busy thinking, but you know, such a natural. You can drink coffee.
I can unthink at the same time. I can multitask, me.
How you do it? And what's the story we're doing first? I've remembered now. It's the former hardware shop that's now really an antiques emporium, I suppose you'd call it.
Yeah.
It's the whole experience of it. It's not just about, you know, I'm going there to buy something, or it's I like the tea that they serve, or it's got an ambience.
And the booming textile firm that is Capatex.
Capatex, that's like Tuxford, isn't it? It's another one of those great words.
As manufacturing leaves the UK, certain core markets we used to have just don't exist anymore in the UK, and we've had to find other things to fill in and make up the gap.
And talking of Tuxford, we'll be taking a closer look at some of the new businesses that are bringing new life to a very attractive village.
Oh, it was pretty drear and run down. It was depressed, it was very depressed.
Everything was a gamble, really. The whole thing was a gamble, but it has paid off.
Now we've got many more shops open. It's worth people coming here for the day.
Shopping's always a big theme, not just for men, but also for women. In fact, for humanity.
Dog shot. We proved that earlier on in the programme. Well, whilst Des recovers, let's take a look at what happened when he went out on the streets to ask people for their shopping tips. Humanity.
I've just recently got a job and it's nice to spend my own money. Yeah, I love shopping.
And yourself?
I just like all the different styles that come out and just try new things.
I'm excited to get something different, something new.
When you get something that's on sale and you feel so excited that you've got a good deal.
I don't know, like when you get new clothes, you feel kind of like special. So like you feel like I don't know how to explain it.
What do you like? What do you like most about shopping? You love it that much, then?
Yes.
Come here. What do you love about shopping?
The buzz it gives you when you get a bargain.
Okay.
Yeah, and finding something quirky.
Yes, welcome back. It was always good fun talking to people on the street. It's almost as though we make this up, isn't it?
And yet people wouldn't believe it, but we actually do have a script, but you know, we just never pay any attention to it. So you enjoyed that vox pop, didn't you?
Yeah, I love it. I love stuff like that.
And one thing we also enjoyed was going off to see Hopkins. Now that's an old DIY store on Station Street. A lot of people remember it, but actually they might be surprised because it's been, well, transformed, I think is the word. Where's that script? You might remember Hopkinson's on Station Street as a hardware seller. Well, now it's a department store selling vintage bric-a-brac and antiques. Rooms which once sold nothing more than screws and nails are bursting with the unusual and the eccentric, all spread over 4 floors.
Customers love it. They come in and they're blown away with how big the place is. You know, a lot of people just come on the ground floor and then we say, have you been on another 3 floors? And they're like, what? A lot of people come in and say that they remember it first time round, so I think it's really good with nostalgia. People always say, oh, I'm wanting to find this thing from, you know, my childhood. Can you get hold of it? So I think it's good for that.
It's a new addition to the Nottingham shopping scene and also provides an art gallery, a coffee shop and holds exhibitions too.
I think they're really cool. Yeah. I think it's really that.
I don't think there's anywhere like this in Nottingham at all. A lot of people come in and say it's like something you'd find in London. It's just really different, genuine vintage and genuine antiques. And yeah, I just don't think there's anywhere quite like it. Nowhere is kind of multifaceted and, you know, it's such a huge building with so much going on.
Hopkinson's prides itself on selling the unusual. Sometimes, though, it can be very unusual.
We've had like Victorian hemorrhoid cream in like boxed brand new before. That was incredibly strange. Found that upstairs one day. So I don't know where that came from or if it had been used or anything, but that was very odd.
Was this like the one that they had in that, was it Joey or whatever it was? Can you remember that? It was like the 3 brothers or something. You're too young, aren't you?
Yeah, I don't remember.
It's great, isn't it? I just love it. Absolutely love it.
So the next time you need to lay your hands on some Victorian hemorrhoid cream, or there's that Christmas robbing card you've always wanted to send, Hopkinson's is hoping you'll head for them.
Thank you.
So here's another Nottingham company that's doing well. Helen McCulloch.
I wasn't paying any attention then,
Oh,
did you notice, by the way? Carry on, yeah. I was looking at that car. There we go. Yeah. I fancy a golf. I don't know. I was thinking about a golf. But yeah,
I'll have you around.
Yeah.
Or are you talking about the car?
Yeah, very good, yeah.
Here's another Nottingham company that's doing well. Helen McCulloch, she's not the company, she's the person that's asking the questions. Capatex, take a look at this.
Nottingham has a long history of textile manufacturing, and this factory in New Basford is keeping up the tradition. Capatex, founded by husband and wife duo Catherine and Peter Strauss, is approaching its 20th year in business.
We are industrial and technical textiles manufacturers, and we supply to a range of industries including agriculture, healthcare and products going into the motor industry.
Peter's still involved in the business, but now his son Gabriel is in charge.
It was an unexpected journey from the start. Never expected to end up doing what we do and the way things have gone, and products we've got involved in now which we didn't do before, and how we've evolved has been a little bit haphazard and coincidental at times.
Now there are plans to expand further, after they successfully bid for a grant worth up to £64,000 from Nottingham City Council.
That's let us make certain investments in plant and equipment to take us into some new areas, upgrade certain bits of equipment, improve our processes and help us develop into new markets, new products, new customers and secure our employment.
There are also plans to take on up to 5 new employees. As the family business keeps moving forward, one former boss is hoping to get left behind. And what about the future? Where will Capatex be in 5 or 10 years?
That's a question I think you need to ask more of my son, because at that time, hopefully, I will be well retired and enjoying the fruits of my labour.
We don't just drink coffee all the time on this programme. No, sometimes we drink beer as well. Well, do you remember that? Actually,
yeah, the micropub.
The micropub, yeah. Micropub's
great.
Big thing in Nottingham. We went along to the Abdication in Sherwood, caught up with the landlord to find out what the attraction is.
I wanted to try running my own business, so this is my first business. I've always had an interest in real ales. I originally wanted to do a microbrewery, but there seemed to be so many of those popping up. And I visited a few micropubs. I thought this is an interesting concept. Let's have a go at that.
What's the difference between a micropub and a normal pub then?
Well, it's a lot smaller.
Yeah, I mean, it feels like someone's front room, doesn't it?
Yeah, everything's kept simple. There's generally no keg beers, real ales.
You don't have a till, you've got...
No till now, I've got a little bus conductor's bag. Yeah. No TV, no pool tables, no electronic games. It's just about conversation and good beer, really.
And it's a few weeks in, we've just dropped in here without any real notice, and there's quite a few people in drinking.
Yeah, it's been had very good response from local people. Not a lot of pubs around here. Quite a few have closed. There's one just down the road that's being turned into housing. So I think people were looking for something like this to happen, really.
And what were you doing just 3 weeks ago?
Well, I worked on the trains as a mechanical fitter.
Big change then?
Yeah. So it's a total different.
And how's it going?
Yeah, nice and steady. Yeah, it's been going well. It's good to get the whole thing actually up and running. You know, it was sometimes felt like it wasn't going to happen, but no, here it is.
Do you miss the old job?
No, not really.
And you've heard us say the name. We're going to spell it out, Tuxford, Tuxford. We're going to catch up on that wonderful regeneration of that beautiful village.
Sometimes all it takes is a spark. The renovation of the Newcastle Arms, the biggest building on Tuxford High Street, has brought new life to the village.
Fantastic.
Among the first to benefit from the rejuvenation is Chili Petals, set up by Lee Franklin and Emma Davis. The business started off as a flower shop and has grown slowly,
Check the amount of sweet I'll send to you, Ken.
with coffee, cards and gifts being added to the operation. It began to thrive after moving into a corner of the refurbished Newcastle Arms.
The cards were the hardest thing for us to pick. Being florists, we like things even and matching sizes.
Yeah.
And of course, cards come in lots of different shapes, sizes, and we found it really, really difficult. I think our card rep, we sent her into distraction quite a few times. This is the coffee shop. This is where it all happens, as the girls would say. This was one of our major investments. This was £4,000, and it took us 3 years to get to this stage. We started off with 2 tiny little Gaggia machines, and this was what we aimed to get. And this is the one.
Many of the customers are local people enjoying the buzz on a high street that's been through tough times.
I think that Tuxford has struggled over the last few years, but it's certainly on an upward turn now.
We saw it go derelict, it went downhill.
The hotel first.
And it was such a shame because it was very prominent at one time and it was very nice. And I think it was the centre of Tuxford really.
Yeah.
But yeah, it did, it went downhill, so it was lovely to see it come back to life.
It was just sad to see it so derelict, and it's so lovely to see it as it is now.
It's been a remarkable transformation for Tuxford, and local businesses say the support of the community has helped them to get there.
We really wouldn't have survived if it wasn't for the local people of Tuxford. I mean, they've been phenomenal. They come in for a coffee, they come in for their cards.
Nearly
they
every
come,
day.
Well, they
Yeah,
come
they do.
here before they go to the towns.
Yeah.
And they all keep saying, you know, we've got to use you, we've got to use you. And it's just grown and grown and grown. And since Sally took this building on, it's just absolutely, Tuxford is just the place to come to.
There are still empty shops here, but Tuxford has the feeling of a place that got back on its feet by its own efforts. And this ancient coaching crossroads is drawing in the visitors once more.
Well, unfortunately, that's it for this week. I really do hope that you enjoyed the show.
I'm just looking through our script. We haven't said any of this.
Oh my
so it's
God.
been a good show.
You're going to have to sack us, mate.
Yeah. We're both
sacked.
Hopefully you've enjoyed it. See you next time. I'll try my coffee now as well. It's freezing.
Is it, mate?
Nottingham Trent University, working with you. Proud sponsors of Working Week.